Let's talk about the different types of peppers we're going to be growing this year. Hi everyone, welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. It is time for part 3 of what plants to grow for this upcoming season. And part 3 focuses solely on peppers. Hi everyone, we are getting in the mood to start growing some seeds, and it's time for us to start talking about what pepper plants we're going to grow for this upcoming season. Part 1, we talked about all cool season crops, everything from a cool season standpoint, with the exception of herbs and onion. They had their own video because we've already planted those seeds, or at least the first round of those seeds. And then after those two, we went into the cool season crops, and we've already got our first round of those in the ground or in the little seed cells as well. And then we moved into the warm season crops, and we did all of the warm season crops with the exceptions of tomatoes and peppers. And today we're going to talk about peppers. I am growing about 30 different varieties of peppers this year. And I think that's taking it down a notch. I think I've always grown somewhere between 35 and 40, but that's okay. We're lowering that number and getting to more things that we like. But of course, we're going to try some new things as well. I divide my peppers into 3 main categories. I have what we call the sweet peppers. I have the no heat peppers. And then I have what's called my hot or spicy peppers. That's the 3 big categories that I have. And we're going to start with the sweet peppers. For the sweet peppers, y'all, I go ahead and I break it down into another group of peppers. So we're going to start with big blocky bell peppers first. Now, y'all, I went through my seeds and I had some super old seeds that I was never going to grow again. And I've already gifted most of those out, just cleaning up my overall supply. But y'all, I still ended up with 30 varieties that I'm growing this year. And there's probably 1 or 2 more down there that just got missed, and we'll pick those up too. But for now, the bell pepper varieties that we're going to grow, we are going to grow something called a Ruby King pepper. A Ruby King pepper, it is from Azure Standard. I don't know if you recall or not, but I've picked up quite a few seeds from Azure Standard over the last couple of years, and I wait to the end of the season and pick them up. Now, this one is truly an Azure Standard seed, so it's not a co-op or anything like that. It's from the Azure Husbandry, so it's really one of their seeds. I don't know much about this pepper. All I know is that it's supposed to get this beautiful ruby red. And when I'm making hot sauce, I like to put some sweet peppers in with those spicy peppers to give me the flavor that I'm looking for. So I needed some peppers that were going to give me more red color because I was getting into the oranges and the yellows and all that kind of stuff. So for this Ruby King, it's an early heirloom bell that ripens from green to a gorgeous deep red. Yeah, there we go. And it's a bell pepper, so of course it's sweet. Let me see if I can read it though. It says that the crop will be 6-inch long peppers. Ooh, that's a big pepper, y'all. 6 inches? That's a big bell pepper. And it says it yields an average of 2.5 pounds per plant. So that's good. Open pollinated. So there you go. So it looks like a big, juicy, thick wall bell pepper from Azure Standard. The next bell pepper that we're going to grow is King of the North, and I've grown it many times before. With all of your bell peppers, they're all usually super sweet and usually have a very thick wall, big blocky, bell peppers. And this one ripens red all the way up to frost, and it did come in. Now, I found my King of the North peppers didn't get huge. They're nice sized peppers, don't get me wrong. Very nice sized pepper with a super sweet taste, nice crunchy, thick, meaty peppers. But y'all, they were just an average sized bell pepper to me. It says it's great for northern gardeners. That was the other piece I wanted to say about this one. And y'all, I apologize for all of the shadows, but y'all, it's so bright. But it is so cold out there that I'm not going out there and I can't seem to get that brightness to calm down. They don't say how many days to harvest on the first two. On this third one here, it's 90 days to harvest. Big, blocky, 6-7 inch pepper. It says cone. Cone-shaped pepper is what it says. I've never grown it before. Bought it at the end of the year last year and just kind of tucked it away to the side. It says it's so sweet and flavorful, and it's reported to be disease resistant. So that's going to be the next one. And it says it's been around since like the 1860s, y'all. But it says it's a cone-shaped pepper. That might not be the best picture of it, but we're going to try it. It says it's perfect for frying and salads. The next bell I've been growing for a few years now, and that's the yellow monster. And y'all, this thing does get to be a monster. I got some really pretty yellow monster peppers over the last few years. Thick, meaty walls, crunchy. It says it can grow 8 inches long and 4 inches wide. Now, I've had some big ones. I don't think they're quite 8 inches, but this is probably the biggest bell pepper so far that I've grown in my garden. And it does get a really deep yellow. And you can harvest it when it's still got some green on it, bring it inside, and it will continue ripening indoors for you. Yellow Monster is a keeper. I will grow it every year as long as I got seeds and I'm buying seeds. Or let's see, this is from Baker's Creek, so that means it's an heirloom. I think I need to start saving seeds because my seeds are getting low for that one. Next, we are going to do the peppers from my seed bundle from greenstalk this year. So I am doing this Sweet Bell blend in conjunction with greenstalk. So I have 10 different seeds that I put in that bundle, and that's one of them. And the reason why I chose this one is because it comes with red, yellow, and orange bell peppers. Of course, they all start green, so I don't count the green. But when they get ready, when they get ripe, they're going to turn to these brilliant reds, yellows, and oranges. The red is actually the YOLO Wonder. That's what the red heirloom seed is. The Coral Bell turns orange. And the Canary Bell is a yellow bell pepper. And it says that these 3.5 to 4 inch bell peppers, so they're not that big, they're a little smaller. They grow well in containers too. And the seeds are colored. There's some natural color seeds in there. There's some with a red tint to them, and there's some with a yellow tint to them. So to let you know which ones you are planting. Usually when you get a blend of seeds, you know, hey, you don't have a clue what you're going to get. It's always a surprise. But at least with these seeds, you know which one you're planting. And I didn't know that till I opened the seeds and pulled out the first set that I started indoors. So the Sweet Bell blend is the other seed, or the last bell pepper seed that we're going to be growing this year. The next type of pepper are what I call horn shape. I think it's the best way to put. All of these are really horn shaped peppers that I'm going to show you, tell you about next. Some of them are going to be thin wall, some are going to be thick wall. There's going to be a lot of varieties. So the very next one we're going to talk about is the Jimmy Nardello. Trying to get above that shadow, y'all. Jimmy Nardello. It's an Italian frying pepper. It's thin skin. That's another important part. It's thin skin, and it dries easily. So I might dry this one, y'all, and turn it into some kind of paprika or something like that. I've grown it for many years. It always grows very well. And honestly, y'all, I don't like a lot of thin skin peppers or thin wall peppers, but I do like the Jimmy Nardello, and it gets beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pepper. It tastes really, really good. I do prefer to use this as some type of frying pepper. I do like to use it in my spaghetti sauces because my girls don't like to crunch on different textures. So I can put the Jimmy Nardello in there and I can fry it up, saute it really good, and it breaks down to not much. So I get the pepper flavor without all of that thick wall crunch that I like, that they don't like. The next one, so I started with the skinniest one I have, or the thinnest wall, and I'm working my way up. The next one that we're going to grow is called the sweet pepper. Sweet pepper, y'all. This was packaged for 2013. 2013. This is a 12-year-old seed, y'all, that we are going to grow. Yes, packaged for 2013. It's a long pepper mix is what it is, but it's a sweet pepper mix. And y'all, this is no, it's not brand new. I'm going to say, I know I don't have a brand new pack of seeds that's 12 years old, but 13 years old. What does it say about this? It's an equal mix of Cuerno de Toro, which is a red bull-nosed horn-shaped pepper, and sweet banana pepper. And I grew sweet banana pepper last year, and I got so many of them. I couldn't put them all away. I was trying to put them in vinegar and everything else, but it was more than I could use. But since I have this mix, I can get my banana peppers as well as this red bull-nosed horn-shaped fruit. So we'll be doing that one, and we'll not be doing a standalone banana pepper. And the skins or the walls of this is a little thicker than that Jimmy Nardello that we just talked about. The next one we're going to do is called the Golden Treasure. I got it from Azure Standard. Maybe this is the best way to do it. I got it from Azure Standard. It says it's definitely a sweet treasure is what it says. It's an Italian heirloom. It can get up to 9 inches long, and it's a yellowish orange pepper that's incredibly sweet. Great for roasting and for frying or just eating fresh. And we do like to take some peppers and eat them fresh, but I prefer a thick wall pepper for that. It says the plants get about 3 feet tall. This is the first year I'll be growing it. I got it kind of late in the season, just tucked it away like I said. So we will be growing this one this year. Now I'm still doing more of those horn-shaped peppers, but I'm getting a little thicker as we go. We're going to also do the Cubanelle. There's the Cubanelle right there. I don't pick it when it's green, y'all, or yellowish, that light yellowish color or whatever. I wait till the Cubanelle turns a deep reddish orange color, and then I harvest it. When it comes to your peppers, the longer you leave them on the vine, the riper they will get. And if you're talking sweet peppers, the sweeter it's going to get. If you're talking hot peppers or spicy peppers, typically the hotter it's going to get. So keep that in mind. You can pick your green, but if you want a cavity from it, especially from a sweet pepper, let it stay on the vine until it turns whatever that natural ripe color is. It's a Cuban pepper, Italian frying pepper. It's good in grilling, salads, and soups, it says here. It says they're sweet and red in color when fully ripe. And that's what I like, that deeper color when it ripes. It is a thin wall. Not as thin as like the Jimmy Nardello, but it is a thinner wall pepper. And they all have a different shape. That's another key piece here. They do all have a little slightly different shape. The next one we're going to talk about is the Costa Rican Sweet Hybrid. And here's a picture of it. It's from Burpees, so I got to show you the picture up here. It's a large Marconi type pepper. 90 or 70 days to harvest after transplanting. Deep ruby red fruit is super sweet. I didn't mention this, but for my peppers on how to grow peppers, and this is probably as best place as any to talk about it. Peppers, we are going to start indoors 8 weeks before the last frost. So when we get into February, y'all, we are going to get these sweet peppers started. Sweet peppers can take a little while to germinate, especially if you have cooler temperatures in your grow space. I don't. My grow space is nice and toasty. So if you have a cooler space, then you might want to get a heat mat. Put your peppers on that heat mat and keep them at least 75 degrees. 75, I think 75 to 80 is what I read. I don't have it in front of me today, but you want to keep it at least 75 degrees. Y'all, I'm trying my best to keep the temperature down, not bring the temperature up. Usually your hot peppers take longer to germinate than your sweet peppers. Typically, that's just an estimate. That's not true for every pepper. So let me be clear, it's not true for every pepper. Every pepper has its own characteristics and it's going to do its own thing in its own time. But usually I find that my sweet peppers germinate first and then my hot peppers germinate afterwards. And it can take up to 21 days for my hot peppers to germinate. But with the temperatures I have downstairs in my grow area, I haven't had any issues with getting that temperature up. If anything, I'm trying to keep the temperature down. We're going to do 8 weeks so we can get a nice big plant to put out in the garden. And I don't mean a 2-foot plant, y'all. I'm talking about a good, 8 to 10 inch plant, nice and healthy. We're going to be cutting tops out to make them short and bushy. All of those kind of things we're going to do first. So the Costa Rican hybrid is the one we just talked about. It's usually a little shorter, but it's wide in the shoulders. It is super sweet. And so the way I know the difference between a Costa Rican and the giant Marconi, which is the next one, is that it is shorter and wide in the shoulders, where my giant Marconi gets to be just a little bit longer. And this one says seeds emerge in 10 to 21 days. Remember I told you 3 weeks for seeds to germinate? And it says you want your temperatures to be between 75 and 80 degrees. So what I just told you was correct. I didn't get it wrong this time. I think that's it for the Costa Rican. And y'all, I love it. It tastes so good. It's sweet. It's not as sweet as one of these other ones I'm going to get to in a minute here, but it is super sweet. And it always does really, really well in my garden, just like the giant Marconi. The giant Marconi is the next one that I told you we were going to get into. 75 days to maturity. But again, with all of these, you can pick them green and eat them. But if you want them to get completely right, it's 75 days to harvest. A lot of these don't tell you how many days to harvest. That was 70. The Costa Rican was 70. 65 for the Cubanelle, and the other ones didn't say. The giant Marconi, y'all, is thick wall, is a gorgeous Italian heirloom. What else about it? It can get up to 8 inches long. Oh, you can stuff them, y'all. They are so good. It's great for roasting and stuffing and grilling, and it's good for everything, fresh eating, salads. It's good for everything. It's great to add to your hot sauce to give you a natural sweetness when you're making your vinegar-based or non-fermented types of hot sauce. And that's what I grow. I do quick hot sauce, y'all. I haven't fermented any yet, but I have a fermenting kit that I've had for a few years. I'm going to pull it back out if I get a big enough pepper harvest this year. And I am going to try to ferment me some hot sauce this upcoming season. And I'm going to need some sweet peppers to do that, to go along with those spicy peppers. The next one that we're going to talk about is the Thunderbolt. Now, y'all, this Thunderbolt, y'all, this is my favorite pepper. Oh, and I only got 4 seeds, y'all. Y'all, I can't buy no more seeds. I got some Thunderbolts already growing on the overwintered peppers that we have indoors, but I think it's only like 1 or 2. Ooh, y'all, I only got 4 seeds. Y'all, I might have to go back online and buy some Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt seeds can only be purchased from Burpees. And here's the picture of Thunderbolt, y'all. The first time I ate Thunderbolt, y'all, I thought I was in heaven. It is the longest horn-shaped pepper I grow. They can get well over a foot long. 13 inches is very common. A foot is very common when it comes to Thunderbolt. Thick walled, but it's the riper it gets, it kind of just comes in on itself. So there's not a lot of air in there. So you cut it up and it's just Thunderbolt, y'all. Ooh, I might have to buy some more seeds. I might buy some more seeds, y'all. But anyway, it's resistant to tomato spot wilt virus and the tobacco virus. Y'all, I would grow all of these if I wasn't just curious about other plants. But sweet pepper Thunderbolt hybrid, you can only get it from Burpees. I've looked everywhere else I'm talking about the big companies. I don't know about the mom and pop shops, but the big companies, only from burpees. Before I get off of my sweet peppers, I do want to mention I will be growing what we've been calling a yummy. And here's a picture of the yummy pepper that we will be growing. And these seeds are from 2014. My neighbor harvested them out of his garden. He harvests red, yellow, and orange. And I have been pulling from these seeds for years at this point, and we're going to pull from it again and grow a whole bunch of these yummy peppers. Now, these are what I call snacking peppers, y'all. They're super sweet. They're not as thick wall as a bell pepper, but they're not as thin as a Jimmy Nardello either. They're sweet, but they're only like this big, y'all. One bite and it's gone. You eat the whole pepper in one bite. So I don't really use it for anything other than fresh eating. I mean, in a pinch, I'll use it in a salad if it's all I have. I mean, I'm not going to let it go to waste, but they're tiny. So when I'm trying to get the bang for my buck and get a year's supply so I don't buy it at the store, that's not the one I'm growing. I'm growing this one just to see how long we can grow from seeds that are 11 years old. And we're just going to keep growing them. My neighbor loves them. That's his favorite sweet pepper. So of course I put plenty over there with him. We've been growing this one now, like I said, since 2014 in our garden. So seeds we picked here, so they're very acclimated for our environment. Depending on where you're growing, some plants are going to do better than others. It just all depends on your weather, the moisture in the air, the heat, the humidity, the rain, all of those things, the amount of sunlight. If it's direct light, is it shade? All of that comes into play on how well your plants are going to do. And you're going to have great years and you have bad years. And this past year was a bad year for our yummy peppers. We did get some, but not the amount we're used to getting. But it was a weird year for us. Everything started coming in and blooming, and then we got a late freeze. All the blooms fell off, and then it got too hot to put a bloom on. It was a mess, y'all. All right, that's it for my sweet peppers. Now I'm going to move into what I call my no heat, or mostly no heat peppers. They're not necessarily sweet, but there's no heat to them. And the first one I'm going to talk about is my Shishitos. And this is my Shishito here. And y'all, I didn't get not one last year. I planted them. I don't remember what happened to them, but I don't remember harvesting any. So we're going to plant Shishitos again. Shishito, I think it's like 1 out of 1,000 peppers might have a little bit of spice to them. It's a Japanese style pepper. And what I like to do is I just take them, I saute them in oil, and then I dip them. I dip them in ranch dressing or an aioli or something of that nature, and just eat it. Just eat it fresh. That's how I eat them. I tried pickling them a couple of years ago. I didn't like that. I didn't like the way they did when they were pickled because they're so thin-walled. If I'm going to pickle a pepper to put on salads and that kind of stuff, it's probably going to be more of a banana pepper, or I'm going to pickle jalapeno peppers, but I'm not pickling this one again. The next no heat pepper that I'm going to grow is the Habanadas. And again, Habanada did just okay for me last year. I don't recall getting more than a handful. The year before, I have so many that I have like 1 cup, half cup, 2 cups of just Habanada peppers in the freezer where it was just so many. They have a fruity taste to them. So it kind of tastes like the habanero pepper, but it's a habanado, meaning no heat pepper. It's fruity. I found it to be kind of fruity. Yeah, it says right here, has all the fruity and floral notes of the habanero without the heat. Thin wall too. This one's thin wall. And my last no heat pepper is, well, the no heat true pepper is a Nadapeño. And I like this pepper because I can get the jalapeno taste without all the heat. So when I'm making a mild hot sauce, because some of my family just can't take it, y'all. They just can't handle the heat. I will put the Nadapeños in here in the hot sauce so I can still kind of get that jalapeno taste without the heat. So I got people eating hot sauce that ain't hot, y'all. I'm just saying. And then the last one that I'm grouping with my no heat. Oh, no, that is it. That's in the wrong place, y'all. Ooh, y'all, I put a tomato with my peppers. Anyway, now we're going to move into what I call my spicy peppers. Some of these, y'all, you might not even believe they have any heat to it whatsoever. None whatsoever. But these are the ones, some of them are spicy, but these are the ones I have to move into what I call my spicy pepper area so that my family don't get mixed up and eat one and not realize it's got a little kick to it, and then I get put out of my own house. And I've said that for 3 years in a row. I accidentally had my mom bite on one of these peppers, and I told her, oh, it's sweet, and it wasn't. And I put one of these peppers in my breakfast potatoes, and it wasn't sweet, it was hot. So I'm being very careful. The first one we're going to talk about is my paprika pepper. So I've bought this for a few years now, and I thought paprika peppers were all just sweet peppers, and I put it in the wrong place the first year. But it has a medium hot heatness to it. It's not hot, y'all. It's just got a little kick to it. And they use it when they're making Hungarian paprika. So their paprika got a little spice to it. My family don't like paprika with spice. This one has done so well for me over the years that, y'all, I've started, where is it? Right here. I've started collecting my own seeds. So I probably will never purchase this one again because I have paprika seeds from 2023. And y'all, that's a lot. That's a whole lot. And then there's more downstairs. I only brought one up. And I found that the ones that I took out the garden did just as well, if not better, than the ones from the pack. So this will probably be the last year I grow or purchase a pack. Well, this pack was purchased how many years ago? 2022. Kind of gives you an idea of how long it's been. But we'll just be using our seeds versus buying them. But I'll keep the pack so you can see it. This is where I originally got them from. And there is a sweetness to it, but that one's got a little heat too. The next one is, and this is the one that really got my family, y'all. This is the one that really got the family, was the Joe Parker. And on my first video 2 or 3 years ago, it might be 3 or 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I actually called it a sweet pepper, y'all. It's got a little heat to it. It's a roasting pepper. It is a thicker walled pepper, but is a mild, thick-walled. It has very few seeds. That's good. But on here, it doesn't say that it, oh, yes, it does. It says right there, hot. It says right here, see, reading is fundamentals. Right there, it says it's hot right there on it. But I put it in the wrong place, y'all. And this is what I made my, I actually canned breakfast potatoes, and I put this one in there, y'all. I gave it to Grandpa. Now, Grandpa likes hot stuff. Our family friend that we call Grandpa, he likes spice. But y'all, he wasn't ready for this. At least I told him it was sweet and it was something hot in there for him. The next mildly spiced peppers that we're going to grow are our Poblanos. I have about 5 seeds of this one left. We're going to do this one. Now, I've grown it. I've gotten a plant, but I've never once gotten one fruit to germinate on this thing. Not one, ever. Never, 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 ever have I gotten a fruit. So it's supposed to be a chocolate poblano is what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be. The depth of flavor of this variety is prune-like and smoky. So it's supposed to be a unique experience if I could ever get a fruit. I got 5 seeds left. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep trying. I'm going to try at least until all the seeds are gone. The other poblano that we're going to grow is just the standard poblano pepper. It's a 3 to 6 inch heart-shaped pepper. You can use a green. You can roast it and peel it. You can use them in your salsas, that kind of stuff. Or you can let it dry completely out, and then it becomes an ancho chili pepper. And I had some ancho chili peppers seeds from 2001. And y'all, I can't find my seeds. I've been growing them every year to just prove that you can grow seeds that are super old. And I harvested some, in my garden over the last couple of years. I can't find my seeds. I don't know what I did with them. I'm going to keep looking. And my plan is to keep growing them to just show you how you can grow old seeds. I can't find them. But Poblano, we will be growing these Poblano peppers as well. And my plan is to let some dry out and turn it into a more chili style pepper. The next pepper we're going to grow is Anaheim Chili. And I did get some this past season, not a whole lot. It's 75 days to harvest. I didn't tell you how many days to harvest. The Poblanos are 95 days to harvest. The Ancho or Anaheim chili peppers are 75 days to harvest. Your hot peppers, if you don't have a super warm growing area, maybe you want to start them a couple of weeks before your sweet peppers. Just something to think about. I'm not saying you have to do it, because on this pack it says start 8 to 10 weeks, but it's a hot pepper and they take a little longer to germinate sometimes, or after they germinate, I should say. It takes them a little longer to get their first true leaves, and they're just a little slower to take off. But once they're out there and they're doing their thing, they grow beautifully. This one actually has a Scoville. I think that's how you say it, Scoville, S-C-O. I'm going to put it right here. It actually has a rating on it. It's only 1,000 to 1,500 Scoville heat units. Y'all, that's nothing. That's nothing at all. This is one of M.R. Gardner's favorites. It says here on the pack, these can mature to a deep red. So that's something else if you're looking for a more red fruit versus a green fruit. It's good for pickling, frying, salad, salsas, all of the typical things, chili, all of those type things. The next couple of peppers that we're going to get into are my jalapeno peppers. So I'm trying to go up in the heat. At least I think I'm going up in the heat levels on these. I'm going to grow two different types of jalapeno peppers. I am going to grow the TAM jalapeno pepper, which is this one here. It is a larger jalapeno pepper. When I'm trying to grow jalapeno peppers to make hot sauce, y'all, I don't want teeny little bitty jalapenos. I want a bigger jalapeno so I don't have to grow as many to get the same, the amount that I'm looking for. I don't want 5,000 when I can have 500, if that makes sense. It's very tasty. It is a mild jalapeno pepper. And it says that it has the same delicious flavor, but less heat than some of the other jalapeno peppers. So again, we got the Nadapeño, and then we got the TAM, which is perfect for my wimpy family who can't handle the heat. But in addition to those jalapeno peppers, I'm also growing the Megatron. Megatron, here we go. The Megatron is part of my seed bundle with greenstalk. This one has a Scoville heat units of 2,500 to 5,000, and that's considered medium heat. So that little 1,000, y'all, that's nothing. Anyway, I've never grown it before. I'm super excited to grow it. The Megatron, it gets up to 4.5 inches long, 65 days to maturity. It says that it's good stuffed as well for those who like to stuff their jalapenos. Is resistant to bacterial leaf spot. This is earlier to harvest than some other jalapeno peppers. First time growing this particular jalapeno, and we will enjoy it. And y'all already got little baby plants downstairs because we were playing with them. Got some downstairs already. The next one that I'm going to grow is, I can't pronounce it, y'all. And I've had these seeds a long time, a very long time. They're from Rustic Garden. Here's a picture of it. Pasilia Baggio. It's a Baggio pepper. Baggio, there you go. Baggio pepper. I got it from the Rustic Garden a long time ago, and I still have a few seeds. I haven't grown it over the last few years. I have a lot of seeds, y'all. I have a lot of seeds. I haven't grown it over the last couple of years. I'm bringing it back because I am providing more vegetables to more people outside of my immediate family. And these folks like hot peppers, y'all. They like hot peppers. So I'm upping my hot or spicy pepper game this upcoming season. So we will grow it again. It's been so long since I grew it. Only thing I remembered about it was that it was hot. I have no idea what the flavor was. I don't remember the flavor profile of this one. Now, my absolute favorite hot pepper is the cayenne pepper. And cayenne comes in many different colors now, by the way, y'all. You can get red, you can get purple, you can get yellow. Many different colors on the cayenne pepper. It's only about a 2-foot tall plant, so you don't need a lot of staking and that kind of stuff. I like cayenne peppers because similar to the jalapeno, it still has flavor. You can actually taste the flavor, not just the heat. I want to walk away with my taste buds when I'm done. But this long pepper turns bright red, is thin wall, and it is one of my favorite peppers to dry. I'll sprinkle cayenne pepper flakes on my stuff. I will definitely, this will be one of the primary peppers in my hot sauce for those who want medium heat hot sauce. I believe I'm going in order from a heat standpoint. I believe, I could be wrong. The next one we're going to do is the Serrano. I added Serrano this past season, actually for the second time. The first time I grew it, I only got 1 or 2. This last season, I got plenty of these. I let mine turn red though. I let them get hot, y'all. I let them get hot on that hot meter. I let them turn as hot as they can get. And then when I need to make hot sauce, y'all, I just harvest, wash them up, get the stems off of them, and I put seed and all in the freezer until I'm ready to make my hot sauce. And y'all, I made a lot of hot sauce. I think 6 or 7 quarts of hot sauce. And I bottled it up and gave it away for Christmas gifts. And I'll be giving it away all season long while we're waiting for more peppers to come in and make more hot sauce. The Serrano peppers, mine have always turned red. And they're on short plants as well. They have some heat. This one has, I think, more heat than a cayenne pepper. I think it does. It says it has some heat, but not quite enough to send you packing. It says they're great in home hot sauces, pickled, ideal chili for drying and grinding into homemade powder. Serrano is very, very common. It's 75 days to harvest. It's container friendly as well. Serrano peppers is one of the ones I'm going to try to ferment this year if I can get enough peppers. And the last hot pepper that we are going to do is called the Big Thai Hybrid. Big Thai Hybrid. I grew this one for my daughter and her husband this past season. I was down at their house. I started the green stalks up for them. I didn't have any seeds. Went in the store and I bought these seeds. These are a medium hot pepper. They get anywhere from 4 to 5 inches long. The plants only get to about 30 inches tall. And my daughter said these are still coming in January. Now she lives in Georgia, a little farther south in mid-Georgia. And she said that these are the hottest peppers that they have. This is from her. I was told by my daughter's mother-in-law that stop watering these. If you want them to get super, super hot, stop watering them and they'll get even hotter if you want a hot pepper. But we're going to do the Big Thai. The Big Thai is in this year at Kim's Cozy Corner, not just at my daughter's house. And we will have to see what all we can do with it, because if it's the hottest pepper I have and my family can't handle a jalapeno, y'all, they not going to be able to handle this one. For those who want super hot sauce, this would be for them. This is also great for containers as well. I don't remember this one having anything but heat. That's all I remember it having. I'm sure there's some kind of fruity taste or something. I can only taste heat, but we're going to use it to flavor the hot sauce for this upcoming season. So y'all, I just went through 29 or 30 pepper plants. I've lost track, but these are the peppers that we are going to grow at Kim's Cozy Corner this year. And I don't have any other than that one ancho one that I'm trying to find. But I don't have any coming in the mail. I didn't sneak and buy any more peppers or anything like that. So this is truly it from a pepper standpoint this year. And we will start these peppers in February for us to put them out once the soil warms up. Y'all, there's no use in putting your peppers outside too early. If the soil is too cool, and you put them out there, they're just going to sit there. They're not going to take off or do anything until that soil temperature warms up. So keep that in mind. You don't have to plant it out after the danger of frost. You can wait a couple more weeks just to see what's going on before you get those pepper plants out. But we will be starting these indoors about 8 weeks before time for us to put them out in the garden. And y'all, I am trying to stagger how I start stuff so that it doesn't all hit my grow space at the same time. But if it does, y'all, we got a backup plan for this upcoming season. These are the 27 varieties we're growing for this upcoming season. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider subscribing to Kim's Cozy Corner and turning on notifications, because y'all, I'm dropping videos right now every day, if not every other day, because I'm behind and I need to get these videos in. So until next time, and I hope there'll be a next time that you choose to hang out with me at Kim's Cozy Corner. Bye.